Race for South America West. Let's get into our first matchup. Trav will catch up with you in just a bit. Dry season is the map bounty, of course, being the mode. What are your thoughts on this one, Teddy? Where are you thinking the meta lies, and what are we kind of expecting to see here?
We've seen all kinds of stuff. We've seen a decent amount of throwers, whether it's going to be Grom or Sprout, Tick, or even Barley, which we saw earlier today win here as well, I believe. But there's also some sharpshooter ideas. We see tons of Bell or Bonnie that can be brought into the mix here as well, even Brock. But I think Gray as well, it can be a solid shout too, to try to confirm some eliminations. When someone is low, just TP on top of him. He's going to be the freest skill in the universe, and I can see that working out too. You can always try to go more around mid-range or even tankier ideas, more aggressive ideas. But early in the draft, well, we'll see things like Janet, like we see right now, which is very versatile and very safe to draft in early.
Interesting stuff. The Max, the Carl, the Grey banned out by Matt FA, the RT, the Tick, and the Penny banned out by SKCalalas. A swift draft in of Gene for SKCalalas, and I do really like that first draft. To counter the Janet coming in, the Brock as well. Nice stuff all around here. They can't really have something like a Sprout. It's going to be like a final pick thing, and SKCalalas have a little bit maybe of an advantage in that respect. They could go for it. But I like the Grey ban. It was proving a big problem yesterday at EMEA for some of the regions, or some of the teams rather, in that region. But the Sprout was what really shone for me on dry season yesterday, at least. Let's see what Matt FA are thinking, and Meg coming in. Yeah, I mean, I deviated away very temporarily from my rule I've had all day long to point out when Meg is not banned, as it's very likely to then show her face. But I've got to be honest, I don't know whether it's the best Brawler draft here, to be quite frank. I mean, if you're back in spawn, but you got the lead, maybe it's actually something which you could deal with a thrower of sorts or some sheer aggression. But third and final draft coming in shortly for Matt FA, and lack of heals on the board for sure. Sprout, I love it. Absolutely love it. They kind of had to if they really wanted it, Teddy, because ultimately they've got the risk against them of being countered, but you got to grab it if you got the chance, right?
Yeah, he's not going to be free to roam all over the place either, as there is some wall break to try to open things up a little bit and limit the amount of ground that Meliodas can cover, or whoever ends up trading with him if they change players on that pick. But we did see the Sprout lose to Barley earlier today. It's not quite going to be the case here. We'll see the Colette as the final pick, which is an interesting one. I mean, it's directly targeting the Meg for sure, because, you know, high HP brawler that likes to go up close. That's exactly what Colette wants to be dealing with. But still, it's not necessarily a brawler that I would say is ideal on this map. I do like this Sprout a lot. I like the Meg, I like the Janet, I like everything here. But I think I'd be siding just a little bit more with SKC's comp, just because I feel like the gene pool is going to be the biggest X factor here to try to, you know, turn around a tricky situation or deflate a push by pulling one of your opponents that's pushing up.
I agree. I'm not a huge fan of Colette here. I think they could have doubled down with the wall break, maybe gone with a Ruffs, or, you know, I mean, X played the fantastic Mortis before. I mean, that's a really strong go-to counter of Sprout. Yes, it's going to struggle a little bit with Meg and Janet, certainly, for sure, but, you know, it would have at least encouraged Matt FA to have to really protect Ander in that respect and spend a lot of their resources and a lot of their time kind of having to deal with that scenario. But let's see how it'll play out. Just the blue star at the moment as both teams try to work towards gaining that super. There's Exic, the first person to show signs of it. He's trying to line up potentially here some shots. Gets one onto Ander before juggling his time forwards, but slow and steady it is the case so far, as Matt do need to secure a kill realistically here just to kind of have a bit more of a safe cushion. SKCalalas though have got to approach this with controlled aggression and not get too ahead of themselves.
Still only that blue star making the difference, but slowly SKC are winning some ground. The pull from Alki though is going to be connecting onto Tano's gadget. That is obviously less than ideal. And drop the base place down. Lukitas might be looking for the angle, but he's going to whiff the shot actually, so it stays up, and he's going to keep creating some space here for Matt FA to fall back just a little bit and keep some distance between themselves and their opposition and try to heal up. Meliodas will get tagged up, as Lukitas now has a rocket rain as well to potentially get an all-important kill, but he's gonna pump it a little bit early. It will destroy some cover, but it's not gonna find any connections on players, and therefore SKC, they only have about 12 seconds left for that final push.
And it's very low here. Gotta be cautious. But it seems like Lukitas, they're just backing up a little bit now. The push in, but no takedowns. But there is one onto Lukitas, and it's enough. And that is a concern as well. Let's see what the next game brings as both teams go back in.
Wow, Matt FA in the grand finals just ready, as Blue Star this time around will be picked up by SKC, giving them a little bit more room to work with. Meliodas is low HP as well, nearly goes down to the Gene, but the chip damage is just going to be that, not quite enough to take him down. And Blue Star in the hands of SKC gives them the early lead.
And moving up now, just trying to keep Gene suppressed, as the focus primarily on the left being towards the Brook and the Colette. There's a big break. Will deflate a little bit of what Anders able to achieve, but nonetheless, the Sprout Wall will cover a good amount of depth though, regardless. It's just still that Blue Star, no kills or deaths, as both sides already are valuing that this is the grand finals. You've got to go in a little bit cautiously and not get ahead of yourselves too soon. But one singular kill will shift the balance in favor of Matt FA, and you got the positioning power for it as well. Not a massive fan of that Sprout Wall, to be fair, but it will kind of cut off a little bit of the angle that Alche is able to achieve. But he has got the magic hand now. That's a big concern, and Matt FA have got to tread cautiously now going into this backside.
Yeah, 3 supers available for SKC, and that's tons of opportunities to try to deflate any of the pushes from Matt FA. Rocket Rain is going to be popped, find some good damage onto Meliodas. Not enough for a kill, but enough to slow down the aggression for a second or two, let them reconsider their positioning. Tano is starting to creep up. Preemptive gadget. I'm gonna pull for the bait, but the pull will connect from Aoki, and it's only Tano left alive. He does have a swipe. He might try to go for it. He gets the connection, gets one kill. No, he doesn't find Aoki. No.
My word, so close. And it just seems as though both sides are in each other's heads very much when it comes to the strategy of just obtaining the Blue Star and then holding fort. And this time around it's Exic, the SKCalalas, who will do so. And Matt FA have got to approach this one a little bit different. Show a bit more aggression maybe, but try to secure an earlier takedown than they did previously, because it didn't work out. That magic hand really was quite punishing. Let's see now as the Kias there on the top left, very low. They're just Scaves unharmed, but could have easily gone down, let's be honest. But Matt maybe considering going back as Talon trying to create some space into the mid there. Healing up accordingly as well, but both sides being very careful in how they time their runs here. The Kies is there, gets the takedown as well. Somehow, the Incinerary must have been, as another wall comes in from Ander. But it feels like SKCalalas is just a bit more in control of this one.
And again, a lot of supers available for SKC. The pull will connect onto the base that Meliodas placed down. So all good for Matt FA, besides the star count, obviously. Ander in a tricky position, but Aoki overextends massively and gets punished for it. They lose Exic, they lose Aoki, and Lukitas is down to one shot. But Matt FA, they're not greedy. They know now they have the upper hand, and they can't afford to play defensively.
25 seconds on the clock here. And SKCalalas need a takedown. Aoki looking finding the magic hand, but it's not been fed it yet. I just worry a little bit for Matt FA that if he gets it quickly, he won't hesitate and try to ensure a swift one, but the Janet can take the skies, and he knows that as well. He's got the Blue Star on his head. And it goes down. The stars are still with Matt FA for now, but what goes up must come down. Meliodas has just got to stay alive here, and he
have taken over the reins. Field goal is where we are going to be heading up next, and if the name of the map didn't already tell you which game what it is, it's obviously going to be Brawl. And a chance here maybe to turn up the pace a little bit. See some more action as both teams are hungry for another set on the board for Matt FA, and for their first for SKC. Banning out a bunch of throwers already by the looks of it. Barley and Dynamite, as well as banned out by Matt FA. SKC will be banning out the RT, as well as Mag and B. And we'll see Max as the first pick from Matt FA, and I don't mind that.
Decent start all round. Crow going to come in, likely paired with the damage booster gadget that we've seen time and time again. It does mean that Grom is still available here. I think, to be honest, it's actually looking pretty desirable here, but Penny, I would say, is a bit more desirable, but nonetheless, Grom would go a long way to helping take care of those turrets in the positions that they could very well be in. But it does feel to me like Matt FA are going with something aggressive here. I love the Max as a first idea. Definitely one to try to secure as quickly as possible, but the bans here are quite key. Let's be honest, they are pretty much the hardest of hitters, and therefore bringing so much more attention to the ones that are on the draft already. Let's see what they're thinking next. Sometimes we see, I wasn't expecting a Poco, but sometimes maybe Spike and that kind of thing is quite a common, safe idea that we see in South America coming through, but wasn't to be. But I'd quite like to see a Lu, actually. Let's see whether they're thinking that. Just the preemptive idea that a tank could come in on the other side of things from SKCalalas, but oh, pick one themselves. Ash coming in, but then that Lu could be an idea as a counter to it, Teddy.
It could be, but dude, I mean, the Poco Ash is scary as well with the max movement speed. There are some stuff already to deal with it, right? There's the crow slows, which can be huge, but depending on which gadget they decide to pick for the Poco, they could cancel it, and it's gonna be a Shelly. It got buffed. It's not nearly as bad as it used to be, but I've yet to see it in competitive, and I really don't know what to expect.
I've been crying out for this. I mean, Shelly is in such a strong place, yet no team this entire weekend has decided to counter the tanks with something really hard hitting, and Shelly is now that beast. Movement speed has actually gone up from normal to very fast, by the way. There was a bit of a mistake in the patch notes that I picked up on, because I was comparing the balance changes from the live build to the, what now is the new live build. And Shelly is very fast. It's had 2 increments of speed increase, and it could very well be the thing to take care of this Ash, but comes down to how it's played for sure. And let's see. It's an early pop there for Alke of the Clay Pigeons to really isolate the attention onto Tano. And that poison really ticking him over a little bit here, is, I would say, it's a pretty decent start so far for SKCalalas, but the speed from Tano, Meliodas pushing through, and this could well avail to a goal if they can just about secure it, but Alke says no and comes back firing.
Yeah, okay, with a cheeky 2-piece here, and suddenly Matt FA, I mean, it looked like they had a push going for them, but it's SKC with control of the ball, control of the pace. And perhaps a chance to turn this into a push. However, Andre is pushing up, jump from Lukitas, but that's not really going to be resulting into anything. Meliodas respecting the Shelly and trying to play it at a range. That's going to be one of the nice features of that extra movement speed is, you know, usually your Ash is going to be trying to lane swap and move around the map, but the Shelly is going to be able to follow along very nice. However, a big push coming through. Lukitas trying to get the ball away, but Meliodas gets the pass in time. And Tano is buying some time so that the end of the timer is closer as they now score and take the lead in the first game of Brawl.
Yeah, Meliodas as well was trying to earn super at the back of Alki. Great pass through the speed as well. Should be enough to secure it. The angle is there. Meliodas comes back. Snash is a scary, daunting thing. Well, they are managing it. They are doing it. Let's see, though, whether they can keep this up. Can they get 2 sets ahead here? I've got to point out as well on the Poco side, gadget-wise, running the protective tunes to really counteract the slow of the Shelly, which he might even use here as well. Not going to have it, and I don't blame him for it. It was a 2v1. Reserve that all-important utility for another time. But I do want to see Alki get further up, try and get super through defensive lines to open things, to potential shot on goal. Whatever way you look at it, SKCalalas have got to get back in this game because they are struggling so far.
Yeah, it's a rough start for them here in the grand finals. Meliodas is gonna be taking very low HP, but the unbreakable wall is gonna disable Alki from closing out that kill. Maybe we'll see a Shelly super to open up the walls and slow down his opposition. He's gonna go for it, but it's gonna be a bit of a whiff. It does open up 2 walls. Lukita's trying to self-pass and clutch this one up, but it's just not meant to be, as SKC are not going to be able to turn this into a goal just yet.
Speed coming in from Tano. It's a good time for it as well. Meliodas pushing far to the left and hoping to receive the ball, but the heal comes through from Ander. Now Exik in a perilous position, but it looks like Meliodas might go down here, and he does. That might deflate this push, especially as the Alki coming back in off the spawn. He sees to that, shuts it down quick, and this could even avail to a goal if the pass is there. Lucius as well could jump in and receive it. Damage booster potentially as well to receive it and have more HP to push it through. Playing it slow and steady, though, is how they want to do this. Might not be the play, but now there's an opening, a shot, the pass. Oh, that's beautifully done! Lucius didn't even need to connect with it. The ball was there. Great stuff as SKCalalas start to fight back.
30 seconds left. And Mad FA, they do have a bit of a push going for them. No more slows for Lukitas, but Alki does have super, and that might be a problem. Ander getting some decent value, though. He's going to pick up a kill. Lukitas low HP as well, goes for a jump in. A bit of an interesting trick shot pass here. It's not really going to go anywhere. And Tano, despite facing 2 low HP players, is just not able to get those connections. Exit comes back full HP, clears him up, and SKC will be able to get a chance to be all even if SKC pick this one up.
Such an important moment, isn't it? Because Matt FA could be way ahead, you know, in terms of the sets, but SKCalalas could bring this back and make it very much even. I love this Shelly pick. I don't know why so many regions and players have been very shy to the mix to really go for it and buckle down, double down with it. It's just so hard for Meliodas to do much. And I can understand it. And it's a great wall break to have on this particular map as well. Meliodas struggling still. Tano weak as well. Lucius could have jumped in there, but he didn't go for it. He wants to pass through from Exik. And this is a wide open door for Exik to be able to walk it through. Nothing at all that anyone can do in the very early start for SKCalalas. 1 on the board already.
Yeah, Ander didn't even try to heal up his teammate there, which probably would have saved that goal. Lukitas gets melted though. Alki also in a bad spot. Ander will fall. Meliodas knocked back. Tano, can he score this one in? He's gonna rush it a bit. Maybe there wasn't a chance to just try to walk or at least shoot it through. Instead, he went for a shot straight into a player that's not really quite gonna make it. Alki has super, and he's not gonna be scared to use it.
He really is the reason right now that no one wants to go forward to get this ball, but they've got to. I mean, time is still ticking here, and you kind of have to commit to something eventually. That's what they're going to do now as Alki really gets the push through, and he's left wide open. Robotic Rat's coming down. We'll see to him the pass through, but can Meliodas do much about it? No. Low HP, and they're not going to get shut down either. Oh, my word. Essek and Lucius did so well there, honestly. And the pins really do say it all. Disastrous moment there for Matt FA. They've got to pick themselves up now with 30 seconds left. There is not much time here to get this goal they need.
That was the chance for Matt FA to try to equalize, maybe see overtime in this game, but it's looking like the set will be going the way of SKC, especially after they find another.
Everyone on the side of Matt FA, but I didn't think that Matt FA played well. I just think the draft was better on the side of SKCalalas, but will that be the case as we go into Kaboom Canyon and Heist? Who is going to get that one set ahead?
I agree with you. I mean, it was a really tough draft for Man FA to face, and impressively enough, they still got the first game. And at the end of the day, each set is a bit of a marathon, and it's about arriving to the finish at the end of the struggle. RT is the first pick here for Man FA. as SKC will be picking up the crow. So far, don't mind anything. Colette here is a bit of a staple as well. We got 2 more picks in a row here for MetFA, and then the final one for SKC.
RT is always a good start, isn't it? It really is. Meg ban here, and I think you've kind of just got to ban Meg everywhere, let's be honest. Crow first pick, as we've all seen. Such a common brawler to have in this particular region, and Brock coming in there for MetFA. Do really like it. 8-bit as well is definitely risky. Definitely risky. I think I'm kind of favoring a little bit more towards SKCalalas, just a little bit. I think Colette in the mid here will be very good, but if MetFA make this comp work, land those shots, move up as a squad, as a team, as a unit, and get that 8-bit onto the safe, extra credits, gadgets, it's going to lay down a ton of damage onto the safe. Speaking of 8-bit being a risk, I would say the Colt's an even riskier one. But again, if you can just land those shots, such a rewarding one as well. It's the SKCalalas draft has just turned into a much different scenario for me. I think as soon as the Colt showed its face, I think I'm back with MetFA now, to be honest. I would love to see this work, though, on both sides of the coin. But I think the MetFA one is now definitely the safer of the 2 choices.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I mean, I think the idea of the goal is not necessarily bad. There's other brawlers that can do a similar job, you know. Could have gone Lola, for example, because they needed some burst damage on safe, you know. Because if a Brock gets onto your safe, you just, like, it's not necessarily burst, more like sustained damage on safe, and they didn't have any of that. But, I mean, Team White immediately in favor of SKC, and they're full on blasting onto that blue safe.
That's exactly what you want to do with a Colt. Just pure chaos. No one knows where to shoot or how quickly to maneuver around who they're shooting at, and the jump in as well. This is starting to dust it. I mean, into the ground there, because as soon as you lose control, it's chaos. It's exactly what SKCalalas are trying to do with this strat. It's just rare to see it work out quite that well.
Yeah, that was incredibly fast. Incredibly efficient, just not missing a shot. Winning every single lane. But it's a slightly different story this time around, and should expect somewhat of a different result. And they're gonna get some connections on save. 10% now in favor of MetFA, and has a super as well, so if anyone there's get in range, they might get punished.
I think it's important to remind the viewers at home that this is much more like this comp would normally play out to be. It's, you know, I don't want to see everyone playing Colt on ladder thinking they're going to get the same results as we just saw, because normally it doesn't work out that way. And you can see there, Tanner there popping the extra credits gadget with the damage booster, and look how that's tearing up the safe. It's a much safer comp. You know, you can stay behind the wall, you've got that mid control. If SKCalalas starts to push back in, so you can go back and still be at the comfort of home. 3% is all that's needed, and I think the SKCalalas just got back dealt a hand. Nothing much that they can do unless they just hold firm now and get 100% damage, which I think is incredibly unlikely. But nonetheless, we have seen stranger things this weekend. Lots of reverse sweeps, lots of underdog stories. So, I don't know. I don't think that I've seen it all just yet, Teddy.
Probably not, Ark. Probably not. But SKC seems like they've had enough. They are pushing forward and getting some good value on safe. 45 seconds left, and they still need to deal 59% damage if they want to catch up. A low HP Colette in the mid is going to be forced to heal up, however, not being able to, as Meliodas shut him down. Tano finds Exic, and all they need is about a single shot, and Ander.
It's just so close, isn't it? It really is. Different ideas for both sides, no doubts about it, but it's going to come down to this early control. A lot of clustering there on the side of SKCalalas, and now Alki and Dukitas do separate themselves out. Great slowing toxin there as well from Alki, and that is suffering for Ander. Tanner just trying to make these shots work, but it does feel like it's going back a little bit to that first game. These shots have got to land, and they do. Meliodas does get the takedown. Exit as well. Goes down himself, and to It's a bit of a reset, but Matt FA do need to establish control, get some takedowns, push back through this mid, make that 3 versus 2. But look at the slowing toxin combined with the cult. It's such a wondrous combination. It's allowing X to hit far more shots. But Matt FA are starting to resist things a bit more. Now that Bush is down, things might change.
Jumping from the crow, but that's a trap as Meliodas melts him down. He's not going to be surviving himself though, as X only needs to be aiming for his legs, and that will be the easiest kill in the universe. Meliodas slowed down by Alki, and Lakitas is able to get a super unsafe. It's looking like SKC might run away with this one. 70, 80, 90% lead now in their favor. And Lakitas, if the super connects, will end it. And he does exactly. Then game 3, they get destroyed by the Colt again.
Crystal Arcade for gem grab. I'll be very surprised to see a Colt here, I'll be honest. But Meg, definitely looking out for that on the bans straight away. One of the gem grab maps that for me does cater towards a lot of interesting ideas. I want to see, you're not going to like this, Teddy, but I'd like to see, yeah, I'd like to see maybe some Nita coming in. I know you don't like it, but it does get some good results. We saw it played out in EMEA pretty well yesterday for the most part. Meg not banned. I know you're okay. Alka coming in with the penny pick, first pick, but that does leave open Meg. And, you know, exactly, and you'd be foolish not to, wouldn't you, if you're Matt FA? What are your thoughts on that, Teddy? You know, you got first pick. Would you go with Penny or would you go with Max?
You mean Meg? Or do you mean...
That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same colors.
It's been a long day, mate. Long weekend, yeah.
Yeah. It's a tough call, you know. Like, I mean, I think Meg is in a better place right now. But if you as a team feel like you're ready to deal with Meg, and it's, you know, what you've been scrimming against the most, and it's how you've been winning the most, by all means, you know, don't take it. But I mean, SKC, I wouldn't say they've been comfortable so far in this grand final, and I'm just hoping they're ready for it.
There's no doubt about it. In terms of experience and ability to handle pressure, SKCalalas definitely have that to their advantage. But again, this is a place where they've really wanted to shine all year long. This could be the chance. Lola coming in as well now to add to the mix. Definitely can handle those side lanes pretty successfully well, and do drop the gems. Not the worst of brawlers to hand them over to and swap into the mid for. It's got a lot of versatility in that respect, but they do need something more aggressive on those lane sides. Quite like the Stu ban for that reason. And again, I wouldn't be opposed to a Nita of sorts, or maybe even an Ashe if they want to go down that line, but again, it's not in their favor on the coin flip side of things. Carl coming in for SKCalalas then as their third pick, and this could be a tank for Matt FA. They've got to have something of some high DPS value, because Crow's great, but ultimately something harder hitting will go a long way here. Certainly wasn't the idea for me. I like hard to close the gap. I don't mind it, but I think it's going to really struggle to be able to earn super in the first place, no?
I don't think you can really push Sandy on his lane, to be honest. If he's just in the bush, you know, like, I don't really know who wins that fight here. Like, the Annie won't, the Lola won't. Maybe the Carl if he, like, shoots nicely around the walls and connects every shot. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's a free lane for the Sandy, but I feel like he's got some decent chances, and his gadget will nicely put Carl to sleep during his super. Can hit the Ego and Lola at the same time. The Salty Barrel can't tank. Super is really strong. And I think it's quite alright, to be honest.
Well, I think it depends upon how it's approached. Ultimately, you know, feeding into it is the worst thing you can do, and I'm pretty sure that the value was achieved greatly in that interaction by Ander. Now he can get back in and then choose his time. So I think SKCalalas have got to be a bit more cautious with this, because ultimately if they don't feed into Ander, then they're going to be able to establish a greater amount of control, spend more time on the mid. He's one shot away now. Now he has the Sandstorm. And now Tano can reposition himself if he wants to and really go in deep here. Going to play a bit more defensively. Looks like it is... that Roost Sands? I think it's actually no healing winds, I believe, on that star power side for Sandy, so actually not going to cause damage. There's a jump in there from Meliodas. Will pop Sonic Toxin just before death there, allowing just a couple more gems into the pocket of Tano. And SKCalalas do need to establish a couple more here because they are a little bit behind.
So far, a good start from Matt FA, but SKC are adjusting, they're adapting, and now suddenly Tano doesn't have a mech to work with anymore. That was the final sleep from Ander, and follow-up super coming true. Let's see if they can hold on to the mid. All they need is 2 gems to start a countdown, but Ander this time is going to be overwhelmed by X6 super. And although Tano gets back into his mech, SKC have pretty much caught up gem-wise.
Done really well. And forced to the right-hand side, choosing to swap lanes. I think it's probably wise, but is it too little, too late? That's the question. Exik holds on there and does win the 1v1. As there as well in the mid. Tano collecting that 9th gem. 10 there, though. Okay, all now healed up and going to contest it. 1 away from countdown now, but the slow is huge there from Meliodas. The swipe from Tano does not connect, though. Should be a swift takedown there from Meliodas onto Exik, but he somehow struggled with it, and that means that Tano can't push this gem. 10 to 10. One more coming down, but it's looking like both sides are going to be very cautious now as we approach this kind of stalemate scenario, as both sides collect the one on their spawn side before reconsidering. But now look at that. Tano can't push this. Surely SKCalalas have got a huge opportunity now.
Yeah, that's a big moment to get that double kill because the gems are up for grabs. Exik gets an insane kill, gets the gems as well. Not that they were really required, but it's going to be the final nail in a coffin. And SKC are on match point.
Start to change their strategy up, not feed as much into those sandstorms, and also swap the lanes and have the Carl go up against it. Now, and has got that favorable matchup that he had previously. Lukidas did lead in a lot to the value, despite the salty barrel. The sweet dream stun does seem to be a little bit stronger. But look at this, the pressure onto Tano. They've got to help him out here. X is going to get the takedown and bring back the gems. Doesn't matter if Ander wins that left-hand side lane. If he's not able to contest it, they're going to be walking away from it. And SKCalalas seems to be growing in confidence here. Matt FA might be getting a little bit out of their depth, as it is tournament point now of SKCalalas.
Ander gets fed super, and it's going to help regain some positioning. And you're right. He's playing the heal, which is wild to me. I feel like Root Sands is just so good overall. Don't think the heal is necessarily bad, but it's just really overshadowed by Root Sands. Either way, Lukidas should be dropping dead, and he survived with 46 HP. Tano, low HP as well, needs to be careful. He's going to drop out of the mech and doesn't really want that in a crucial moment like this. And he gets reset and tanked back all the way down to 800 HP. Jumping from Meliodas, that's a kill. The gems are dropped as well. Exik trying to go for a play himself, but he goes down, and the gems go in the hands of Matt FA. Countdown locked in now by Matt FA.
Gems all split, but is there enough time? Lukidas trying to get some damage dealt into Tano. Exik, no super to hand. No gadgets, but it seems... Oh, he has a gadget. It's going to be such a close game up next. Will SKCalalas shut it down, secure it, become our champions for April, or will Matt FA take it to a 5th and final? Let's go in.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this whole plan here from SKC committing so much resources on the left-hand side, including the penny. Like, you don't really want to be fighting multiple people up close when you're facing, or you don't really want to be going in as multiple people up close against a Sandy that's just going to be getting so much of her super and doesn't really care if it's 1 or 2 people she's shooting at the same time, or he's shooting at rather. Let's see. Because the problem, if you commit your gem carrier to help out the lane, is in the meantime, Tano got so many gems. He doesn't get pushed by Exik. Sleep onto Exik, but Exik still gets a 2-piece. Meliodas is able to recover the gems until the mortar takes him down. However, the lead is still in favor of Matt FA, but SKC, they now have control of the mid.
Great amount of pressure here, but Tano is fighting it. Exic is the problem realistically here. It's going in. Big hits. The Sweet Dream stun is there, but Tano is taking so many shots, and it is one too many. Gems in the pocket for SKCalalas on the retreat. 15 seconds inbound, and I don't see how it's going to get reset.
Matt FA, they need a kill on either Luquitas or Alki. But with 4 seconds left, what they really need is a miracle. 1 second left as well from Tano. He will get one kill. It gets reset, but he's going to drop dead. And now there's even more gems in the pockets of SKC.
The reset might be enough, but I don't see Matt FA being able to do it twice, if I'm honest. I think it is going to be SKCalalas for the first ever monthly finals win. Exic with a flying hook away, a little spin, a cheeky pin, but most importantly, the win. Great stuff from them, and they break the trend. Every month by month, it's been leave no witness as the top of this region. But now we have a new reigning champ.
Phenomenal run from SKC this month. Props to Matt FA as well for an unbelievable performance for a first time going this far in a monthly final ever for all of their players. I believe this is the first time winning a monthly finals for